Welcome back to Tianjin. I'm sitting here with Paul Horsman, who's the campaign director of Tcktcktck. This is a kind of coalition that represents about 17 million people around the world. Paul, has this week of negotiations got us any closer to the fair, ambitious and binding climate deal that the 17 million people you represent want?
Closer, yes. We still have a long way to go. I think the meetings here have certainly taken us closer to what we want and better than Copenhagen. If we want to go back 12 months to, if you like, the same time before Copenhagen, the negotiators didn't have a clue where they were. Nobody knew what to do, where they were going and so on, and the signals for potentially what eventually did turn out in Copenhagen were obvious this time last year. Here we appear to be in a much better position, but everything is relative. There are drafts of text work being spread around. There is certainly a lot more agreement on different processes. What is lacking is agreement on substance. But as opposed to last year, this year, at least it appears that the negotiators know what they need to do. There's a lot of work to do between now and Cancun. And what we are saying is that just like there are thousands and thousands of people around the world that are getting to work, particularly tomorrow with the Global Work Party. These negotiators also need to get to work between now and Cancun in order for us to have some degree of success out of Cancun. And hopefully then that milestone will be passed and we shall be moving steadily towards that fair, ambitious and binding treaty that we all want.
We've heard a lot about the importance of a balanced package this week, and our viewers might have seen you demonstrating that in a protest at the front of the convention centre, or perhaps they saw you in a polar bear outfit demonstrating some fabulous Tai Chi skills. What does a balanced package mean, do you think? And are we gonna win it?
Well, certainly some of the things that we were trying to point out was, first of all, the type of balance depended here in the negotiations, which negotiator you were talking to. There was balance between North and South, balance between finance and no finance, but there were a whole range of definitions of balance. But the climate movement has actually got fairly clear idea of what a balanced package is, and what we were trying to do was to demonstrate that the top line, of course, is that a balanced package is one that achieves a safe climate. And when you drill down to what that means, it means a commitment to limiting the global average temperature rise to 1.5 degrees or less above pre-industrial levels. It means a commitment to achieve the emission reductions that are science-based, that science tells us are needed to prevent dangerous climate change. And basically it also needs a commitment to the finance, to the investments necessary that will move us towards a low-carbon future, low-carbon development support for developing countries, support for those vulnerable countries too that are suffering mostly from the impacts of climate change, and also plans in developed countries, in industrialized countries, for zero-carbon economic development. Now those are the kinds of elements that have to be in the package, have to be in the so-called balanced package in order to achieve climate protection, and to lay down the elements for this fair, ambitious and binding treaty that we all need.
And just before I let you go to the meeting that I know that you need to rush off to. Another meeting, yeah. You mentioned the Global Work Party happening tomorrow. What's that for the benefit of any viewers who might want to join in?
Well, 350org, which many people know, and Tcktcktck, as well as are organising or working on this Global Work Party, and there are something like 7,000 different events that are happening in over 185 countries worldwide, where people are getting out and getting on, rolling up their sleeves, getting on with it, and living in a climate-changed world. And they're doing everything from planting trees to putting solar panels up, and all sorts of things. And what this does, it sends a message to the politicians that they need not be afraid to step into the political space which is necessary for them to do so in order to take bold action. What this tells them is that there is a public support for them to take action. The problem problem here in the process is that there is an argument between governments, and it's a political argument. It's not the process that's the problem; it's the politics. So it's an argument between governments, but within countries and across countries, people are getting on with it, and the politicians need to take their cue from the work that people are doing worldwide. Just like tomorrow, where we have this global work party, and all over the world, the signal is going to be clear.
So check out 350.org if you'd like to join that. And on that note, Paul, thanks very much for joining us, and I'll hand back to our studio in the UK.